Welcome, gamer, to Joe Quizzo's House of Riddles. I'll be your man in the hat that'll make you question everything. If you were trapped on a desert island with a video game and a bath, which one would you take? Ooh, this is engaging, isn't it? Don't you want to comment? Go ahead, speak your thoughts, shit your truth, piss your bath. We're on a desert island. You can do anything as long as you keep taking the pills. Thunder fills your brain for the umpteenth time to flush away intrusive thoughts like a merciful enema from Zeus. For what is the answer to a question never asked? And what questions are in store for us today? I'm Lyle Wrath, and this is Pre-Game Discharge, the only video game show that answers to no one but you. I usually don't cover rumors or leaks on this show unless they come from an official or credible source, which is why Microsoft did me kind of a favor when they leaked themselves all over a public FTC website when they were trying to get that Activision deal to go through, which is finally happening, by the way. These documents seem to be from various times going all the way back to 2020, which I bring up because it's likely things have shifted around a bit. Now, you're here for games, so let's not play them and start with that. As you see here, we've got Starfield launching in 2021, so we're already a little off the map. But we've got mention of an Indiana Jones game and an Elder Scrolls Oblivion remaster, interestingly. Probably being handled by a third-party studio or a B team. I can't imagine Bethesda was proper working on that and Starfield at the same time. Then we got Doom Year Zero, presumably the next Doom sequel after Eternal. Elder Scrolls 6 in 2024. I don't think that one's happening, gamers. A Fallout 3 remaster, which makes sense if they're building a remaster engine for Oblivion, you could use it for Fallout 3 just like the originals. A Ghostwire Tokyo sequel, and Dishonored 3. They were also planning a mid-gen refresh for the Xbox Series X and S, apparently for fall of 2024. It's rounder, has no disk drive, a bigger internal solid state, Wi-Fi 6, and more efficient power consumption. To come with it, there's a new controller which has gyro, better haptics, a rechargeable battery, and underrated feature, modular thumbsticks, meaning you can finally slap some Hall Effects thumbsticks in an Xbox controller. We're at a weird point right now where the best thumbsticks you can get are usually in third-party Switch controllers, which makes sense because the official ones shit their gooch all the time, but they haven't really made it outside of that market too much. Then we got a new console in 2028 with some vague details of the kind of R&D they're doing. Mostly they just say it will be bigger and have the most graphics, with maybe the only significant thing of note being that they're considering ARM64, meaning a more laptop-style processor and hybrid computing. Also, not for nothing, there's a mention of a thin OS, meaning a lighter version of Windows for handheld devices. That's pretty big for the mobile gaming space. Steam Deck uses Linux, but everything else uses Windows with some clunky homebrew software on top of it. There's also some speculative planning stuff talking about possible gaming usages for AI and kind of a food pyramid-looking thing of goals that currently are and aren't funded. You know, dairy's not even supposed to be on there, and the amount of bread they're telling you to eat is fucked. But I digress, it's kind of interesting. You can see they've already funded the stuff we just talked about. Then in the not yet funded category, we've got a new version of the Elite controller and a luxury controller, whatever the fuck that means, along with some vague mentions of accessories, cloud gaming stuff, and Xbox Design Lab consoles. It's like that thing where you pay too much to get a custom colored Xbox controller. And then in the fats and sugars category of stuff they tried but gave up on, we got earbuds, media remote, mobile controller, and handheld, which means we're not going to be seeing an Xbox version of the Steam Deck. They gave up on it, just like they'll give up on you. Anthony, wait! Xbox didn't mean it. You're a gamer, which means you just don't have time for it. You're too busy gaming. That's why I'm thrilled to introduce you to today's sponsor, Factor. Factor delivers delicious and nutritious pre-made meals right to your door. They're conveniently microwavable with no prep and no mess to take all the effort out of eating healthy. If you're trying to get yoked or even just to take care of your body, you know how much time cooking can take out of your week. So take take it back. Factor offers more than 27 different weekly meal options ranging from low-calorie and keto to vegetarian or vegan. Look, there's a lot that can go wrong in the kitchen, and you could die. But with Factor, you won't. So what are you waiting for? Use my link or go to go.factor75.com and use code POGRATHSEP50 for 50% off your first box. Click the link in the description or scan the QR code on screen with your phone. Nintendo had a big Nintendo Direct with a lot of trailers for a lot of stuff we've seen before. Nothing super special jumped out. Shut the fuck up. Paper Mario Thousand Year Door is getting a remake. Now, I said before that if this happened, I would produce a number of excretions, and I assure you, they have been excrote. Still, one of the reasons the original is so great is that it's stylized in a way that still looks fine. So as far as remasters go, this is maybe one of the more pointless ones, if not for the fact that you can play it natively now on something that comes with an HDMI cable. Still, if you haven't played this one, it's one of my all-time faves, and I would be very happy if they made a new Paper Mario in the style of this one, so I hope it does well. We got to see more of that Princess Peach Showtime game. The whole thing is framed like a stage play with Peach gaining power-ups by losing herself in her roles, and you have to help her build up delusions of grandeur as a weird theater person until she's bold enough to kill, like John Wilkes Booth. F-Zero is back in a way that will probably disappoint F-Zero fans in that special way that only Nintendo can. It's a battle royale elimination style game that looks like the original Super Nintendo F-Zero, and it's free on the Nintendo subscription pass thingy. They did this with Mario a little while ago, and that game is discontinued now, so if you like it, you have that to look forward to. They're remaking Mario vs. Donkey Kong, a Game Boy Advance game notable for having both Mario and Donkey Kong in it, and I guess trying to have the same vibe as the original arcade game. So that's exciting if you're that guy that cheats. You know, the guy. That guy, he's happy. They're remastering the old Tomb Raider games with all of Lara Croft's big boobaroonies, which I respect. We got new trailers for the Mario RPG and Luigi's Mansion 2 remakes, as well as Detective Pikachu and that new side-scroller Prince of Persia. Trombone Champ. There were some anime games. I don't remember what this one was called, but I know the mom from Porn, which I respect. Splatoon 3 and Mario Kart are both getting DLC. If you want to look like a real toss-off, the new WarioWare will make you fucking do this. There's another new League of Legends game coming that isn't League of Legends, which is a great thing to not be. This one is called Bandletale, and it looks very Stardew Valley. The Legend of Netanyahu Boundless Trials. I guess his political opponents finally formed a coalition. Look, Mario Wonder got another trailer-oonie where we got to see everyone's disgusting elephant form. Ew, why is this one flesh color? Aside from just showing more stuff, there's a kind of loadout system where Chris Pratt and friends get different abilities depending on what you have equipped, which might be nice for some replay value. Look, at the end of the day, this is a Mario side-scroller. You know whether you want it or not. Come on. Come on. Whenever Nintendo does a presentation, it seems like PlayStation does too. I don't know what their deal is, what their damage is, you might say. It's like, bro, get real. Just get a grip. Fuck you. Obviously, the big star of the show is Spider-Man 2, but there's not really much more to say about it at this point. It's promising to be a bigger, better version of the first game with both playable Spider-Man, and that's exactly what it looks like. They showed you a lot of suits. They were like, this is a Spider-Man from something, probably. Remember that? I don't know. I don't read comic books. I don't read regular books, for that matter. The presentation started out by showing a charming looking game by Bennett Foddy, the visionary behind Guy in a Pot with a Hammer. This one looks like an adventure game, but your character is a quap dude. It's called Baby Steps. That Avatar Far Cry game got another trailer. I noticed we've been seeing a lot of that one lately, and I guess it's because it's coming out in December. It's totally serviceable looking. In a slower year, might be worth looking at, but it just, man, Do you not just want to start another Baldur's Gate character?
I called out to you and you came.
Well, excuse me for getting into it. Tales of Arise was an okay game that I never finished, and now it's getting DLC. Go ahead and scream about it. We also saw some Final Fantasy Rebirth, which is coming out February 29th, and Cloud, get off of that thing! Do you know that the CEO of Segway died because he rolled off a cliff on a Segway run amok? That's true, that happened. Look it up, that's real, that's how he died. And that's how Aerith is gonna die, and that's how you're gonna die, and that's how we're all gonna die. It's gonna happen eventually. Which is a good segue to this next thing. Zuckerbino has announced the MetaQuest 3. What does it do, might say you, if you were inquiring what was new and possibly the owner of a MetaQuest 2. I am so fucking tired. The big new feature of the MetaQuest 3 is mixed reality. Basically, this is that thing where you can put virtual stuff in the room with you. This is a bit of a surprise since it was the big selling feature of the vastly more expensive MetaQuest Pro, which I think is still pretty new. I think. Aside from that, it's got a new graphics processor that's supposedly about twice as powerful as the Quest 2. It's got better lenses, new controllers, and it's smaller, although apparently slightly heavier. It retails at $500 or $650, depending on if you want 128 or 512 gigabytes of storage space. And Marky Mark and the Zucker Bunch will probably use it to scan your brainwaves and send them to advertisers. Kind of comes with the territory. Dragon's Dogma 2 showed a lot, actually. Gameplay, classes, abilities, enemies. It was like a 10-minute thing. There's animal people now. If you never played the first Dragon's Dogma, it's kind of a cult classic for a reason. It's a big open world RPG where you can pick up and throw people or climb around on monsters, Shadow of the Colossus style. It was really fun and really actiony. And this one's looking like it's ramping up everything all around. So might be worth giving a look, keeping an eye on, you know? Keep an ear to the ground, keep an ass to the hole. You've been keeping it real this whole time. Maybe if you faked it, you would have made it. That'll keep you up at night. Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, the sequel to Yakuza Like a Dragon, got a gameplay and story trailer. Fair warning, the story trailer spoils a fuck ton. I went and turned it off like a minute or two in, and I still feel like I'm already 5 hours into the game or something. The gameplay trailer has some light spoilers too, so I'll just tell you the game comes out in January. I am fucking pumped. Netflix is doing a bunch of video game cartoons. They showed little basically nothing teasers for cartoons of Devil May Cry, Tomb Raider, and Far Cry Blood Dragon. And bigger trailers for Scott Pilgrim and the new season of Castlevania. Two things. One, I like this approach a lot better than live action for video game adaptations. And two, American anime just kind of became a thing and it seems like nobody is acknowledging it. Is that just not a thing we talk about? Like adult animation not too long ago was nothing but sweary comedies and now there's more serious animated stuff starting to pop up. Granted, usually based on video games, but I don't know. I just think it's interesting. Do you think it's interesting? Unity really pooped goo, and there's no putting it back in the bottle now. If you don't know, Unity is a game engine primarily used by indie studios, but also in some AAA games, mobile games, it's everywhere. Next to Unreal, it's probably the most used game engine right now. So why are we talking about poop goo? Well, Unity recently updated its pricing structure to charge game publishers fees not for sales, but for installs. So once a game hits a certain threshold, every time someone installs a Unity game, even if they had already bought it, the game publisher was meant to pay Unity 20 cents. Also, this was going to apply retroactively to all games made in Unity. This sparked a lot of outrage and concern over the fucking obvious flaws in that system, like how the fuck are they supposed to get that number? What's to stop pissy gamers from downloading the game repeatedly out of spite, similar to a review bomb? If a game is older and or cheap or goes on sale for cheap, could this mean developers actually losing money on sales? And what about subscription services like Game Pass? After weeks of community backlash and angry open letters from developers, Unity walked it back partially. Now it's an either or of the 20 cent per install fee or 2.5% of the sales revenue, whichever comes out to less, and it only applies to games made in this upcoming version of Unity. So, problem solved? well, no. The general consensus from developers is that they don't trust Unity anymore, and most of them are considering switching, either now or after they close out their current project. The fact that they tried to pull this at all would have been bad on its own, but it blatantly wasn't some kind of whoopsie. Unity's CEO John Riccitiello, who you might know as the CEO of EA circa 2007 to 2013, and one of the grimiest urethras in gaming, sold thousands of shares in the company a week before the announcement, so they knew what they were doing. What are you gonna do about it, pussy? Baby gonna cry about insider trading? Oh, is that a felony? Oh no, what do you think, we're a country with a functional justice system and we could just throw multimillionaires in jail like they're the creator of Sonic the Hedgehog? Are you dumb? Are you stupid? He is actually in jail though. That aside, it kind of just fits the gaming industry MO of companies overplaying their hand just to see if they can get away with it. I don't know that this will be the death of Unity, but it's definitely irreparably fucked it. Ubisoft is making The Division 3 more like The Division P, like when you slice a shit in half that didn't flush after giving it a good melt, and then I blame my team of 16 staff writers for that joke. E3 is more dead than it's ever been, but not as dead as it will be. The Entertainment Software Association, which controls E3, and Red Poop, the agency that's been trying and failing to organize E3 for the last few years, both love you very much, and it's not your fault, but they need some time apart. If E3 does come back, it probably won't be next year, and it won't be at the LA Convention Center, which tragically means ya boy will no longer be striking distance from open bar after parties. And that's really the only thing notable lost. No, I have had a lot of fun with E3, both attending and goofing on it. I'm not rooting against it coming back, even though it definitely doesn't really have a reason to exist anymore. Anyway, here are the game releases for the month. I'm Lyle Rath, and this has been Pre-Game Discharge. This is a monthly show we do at the end of every month. If you like keeping up with gaming, but just want it fast, this is the place. We also got some new cartoons coming soon. Some of them are about video games, and some of them are not. So think about that. Consider it.